The top 25% of dividend payers in the United States right now pay a dividend of 4% or higher. I've identified 5 healthy, consistent dividend-paying companies within that top 25% that you might want to keep an eye on. Coming up. I hope you're doing well, and I hope you're ready to be introduced to some great opportunities to help you build your rapidly growing, highly diversified network. And one video at a time, that's my goal with this channel. So if you're new here and that's your goal too, take a moment to hit subscribe and the bell so that you don't miss a single opportunity that we're putting out there for you. Now, I dug deep to find some amazing dividend stock opportunities. Unlike many YouTubers, I am actually also a registered investment advisor. So it's important to me and the SEC that you understand that these are not my recommendations in any way. I don't know you. I don't know your particular circumstances. I'm just going to point out some facts about these companies. They are interesting to me right now, and if they seem interesting to you, you should definitely conduct your own research and analysis to decide if they fit in your portfolio and if they make sense specifically for you and your situation. I find most dividend payers boring.
Boring.
For one to be interesting to me, it has to pay a high dividend. It has to have a good track record of paying dividends, and it needs to be relatively healthy. I want to be as confident as possible in its continued ability to pay those elevated dividends. Also, my selection here today is extremely diversified. Each one of these 5 is from a different sector, and they are all different sizes. Let's dive in. Representing the large caps, we have AT&T, ticker symbol T, a part of the telecom sector. It currently has a dividend of 6.2%. Now, I'm sure this one's not new to you. A lot of people are talking about this one, although I haven't heard anyone talking about the other 4, so stay tuned. But I already talked about this one in my 90-second analysis comparing this company to Verizon. AT&T was finally approved for its Time Warner acquisition, which has caused its share price to fall even further, perhaps on concerns about the company's post-acquisition debt level. But the most recent dip presents another potential buying opportunity. Now, there are some technicals that indicate further downward pressure, but if you're in it for the long term, I think that AT&T just got more interesting. Think about it. After completing this deal, the company is going to be a media giant. It'll be fascinating to see what they can do. And considering the government's recent efforts to connect America, the amount of money it has been throwing at that project, making sure even rural America has access to the internet, and the integral role that AT&T currently plays in that initiative, I don't think they're going away anytime soon. The company's market capitalization is $198 billion. Its share price is $32. Its PE is 6.5 versus the industry's 16.2 and the market's 18.5. Its PB is 1.4 to the industry and market's 1.8. Their current debt to equity is 1.1, but keep in mind that their debt has been increasing over the last 5 years. I mean, they are purchasing a massive company in an up market, so yeah, it's relatively expensive. But their debt is pretty well covered by operating cash flow, around 24% of total debt. And with an earnings before interest and taxes around 3.5 times interest, their payments on debt are pretty well covered by earnings. In addition, AT&T's net profit is about 2.5 times the size of its dividend. And the company is a dividend aristocrat. And when you know what that is, you realize how significant that is to our case here. The dividend aristocrats are S&P 500 constituents that have increased their dividend payouts for 25 consecutive years or more. AT&T joined that exclusive list in 2012. Obviously, paying a dividend, increasing it in fact, is extremely important to the identity of this stock. So you can bet that they'll do it if at all possible, because regaining that status, if they were to lose it, would require another 25 years at least. But I think you get my point. It's worth at least looking into. Let's move on. So now, representing the mid-caps, weighing in at $3.9 billion with a share price of $162 and a current dividend yield of 5.4%, all the way from the consumer services sector, Cracker Barrel. There she is, ticker symbol CBRL. Not too pretty to look at from the outside, but it's the inside that matters. And her financials, they're pretty sexy. The company's healthy. They've reduced their debt over the last 5 years, dropping their debt to equity ratio from 0.9 to 0.6. Their debt service coverage ratio is great at 85% of total debt, and their earnings before interest and taxes is enough to cover their interest payments more than 20 times over. Their dividend history is fantastic. It's been stable and increasing for more than a decade, and their net profit is about 2 times their dividend payment. All this talk about dividends is making me hungry. I'm gonna go perform some market research. And that is the best kind of market research. Let's get on to the small cap dividend paying stock. And before we get to that, if you would be so kind as to let me know if you like this format or not. It takes me more time. I don't mind doing it. It's a good creative outlet for me. I actually really enjoy it. But if it's not enjoyable for you, it doesn't help you with the information at all, you don't like it, then let me know. Leave me a dislike to let me know so that I don't waste my time with another one like this. At the same time, if you do enjoy this content, this format, then definitely leave me a like so that I can know. Honestly, I really do want to know if you like it or dislike it, so I want you to go either way. And if you really like it, then leave me a like, share it with your friends, leave a comment, as much engagement as possible to really let me know that you like this format. And if you really do, I will definitely spend the time to create more videos like this. Thank you. Now let's get on to that small cap dividend payer. It's a $1.1 billion market cap company with a $12 price per share and a 7.4% dividend. And it's coming to us from the energy sector. High Crush Partners, ticker HCLP. Now I'm not going to spend a ton of time on this one because I already did an entire deeper dive video on this company explaining everything it has going on for it, and I'll link out to that in the description and in a card. Now, their net profit is almost 3 times their dividend. You should definitely note that they stopped paying a dividend for a couple years after the most recent oil scare. Other than that, they've always paid a very handsome dividend, but they've only been a public company since 2012, so the data there is limited. They're super healthy, especially for this sector, with a debt to equity of 0.2, a debt service coverage ratio of 82%, and their earnings before interest and taxes is 13 times their interest payment. But they are in the oil industry. They do support the fracking industry. Just a couple things to keep in mind when you do your own research. Now, our microcap representative today is Elmira Savings Bank. Not this bank, that is a bank. It's the closest thing I could get without flying across the country. Elmira, ticker ESBK, is in New York. It has a $71 million market cap and a price per share of $20. Its current dividend yield is 4.3%. They've maintained a stable, gradually increasing dividend over the last decade and have a very healthy balance sheet for a bank. And finally, rounding out our 5 is our little baby nano-cap, a company with a $15 million market cap, $15 per share, and over 17% dividend this year. Now, it's not always that high. They are a specialty REIT, so occasionally they have to pay out these larger payouts when they start to sell things. Their normal dividend is around 4%, but their history of special dividends every other year or so is important to keep in mind. I'm talking about HMG Cortland Properties, ticker HMG. This is a company I featured last month in my private group. It's a company whose net assets are actually worth more than the market value itself, meaning if you could buy the entire company, all the shares that are outstanding, even after paying off all the debt, you would still have some cash left over. That means you would actually profit. You would walk away with extra money from purchasing the company. The problem is you can't do that because there is a majority shareholder who maintains control. So that wouldn't be possible unless you bought it from him. But it does presumably offer some reasonable downside protection, and at this level, a 4% regular dividend plus special dividends every now and then, which, if you keep up with me, you know that I love a stock with a limited downside. So if that's something that you're looking for, this might be a good fit for you. Now, you should definitely do your own in-depth analysis if you plan to get into this one. Know what you're getting into, because it's a little different. There's a lot of nuance to it, but it's all there in their annual report and in their quarterly report. So just check into that, and I think it'll be worth the look if you're interested. So that's it. 5 dividend stocks to watch. If you found this helpful and you like the format, don't forget to leave a like and a comment if you haven't already. And if you're new here and would like to join us on this journey to helping you build your rapidly growing, highly diversified net worth, don't forget to subscribe and click the bell. I look forward to seeing you in the next one. Take care.